Hello there, and welcome to the League Championship match for Season 55 between Kazumaru and JNails. We have one of those situations that occurs quite rarely, but happened a few seasons ago with myself, but Kazumaru is out of range. I think. I'll have to double check, but so they're simply going to be playing an exhibition match. For the entertainment of us all. And they've agreed to play one with the extra Plunder table setting on, so we'll get to see a bit more of the new stuff. Assuming JNails shows up, which I guess we'll find out. I could play Kazumaru, and I would have the same chance of winning. So there's that option if we want to see some dominion. So very impressive season from Kazu this time around. I don't have a lot else to say in the meantime. I don't even remember exactly what the constraints are for extra Plunder, but maybe we can tease them out as the boards appear. I started talking and recording under the premise that it would allow me to do the little introduction stuff. And then JNails would be here, and then we would be playing. And that didn't quite work out. It was a risk I took, calculated, but ultimately a mistake. Salt Rosa has informed us the details of extra Plunder. So you get one trade or one Plunder event, 3 Plunder cards, and the rest can be whatever. It did in fact do that, but that's okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to figure it out anyway. For whatever reason, even though I've been doing it for months now, I messed up the UTC conversion for this thing. Thought it was going to be an hour later, but fortunately woke up about 15 till anyway, so that was fine. Oh, here we are. Excellent. All right, so we have Grotto, King's Cash Gondola, exactly 3 cards, and we have Launch for our event, so that's exciting. As well as Fleet. I guess you're kind of payload limited here. There's no plus buy. Certainly going to make King's Cash look a good deal less interesting. Probably unbuyable. Unless I'm missing something. There's a little bit. I guess you could do a little bit of launch Cursed Village stuff if you want to get coppers out of your hand, but probably you just have trashed or churched stuff. Wish is our only way of gaining extra VP. So I kind of do expect that people will get leprechauns eventually. But it's definitely an awkward kingdom, which will probably reward somebody who gets some control, some way of keeping the money influx or the control up, and then just screening, since you can't build to some massive thing. So I guess in the opening, I'd be okay with, I don't know, cut purse church. That's probably what I would do. You'd like to get a sculptor, of course. There's enough valuable stuff. I don't know if you ever can even see you grabbing a potion with the sculptor at some point if you have the $3. I mean, Alchemist is as reasonable to get as anything here. In my mind. You can use launch to play. I guess there's a village anyway. I was going to say you can use launch to play a couple terminals. Launch is really, like if you compare it to something like Toil. Yeah, that's true too, Johns. Launch is really quite generous compared to something like Toil. Yeah, you may be able to squeeze in the leprechaun a little bit sooner. Though potentially a little, like it may overshoot to trying to get enough coppers down to buy it. But definitely could come up. Okay, so we have Double Church versus Cut Purse Grotto, which I didn't see. I guess Kazu had the 5. I'm assuming Kazu had the 5 too. I didn't actually watch. No, they did not. Kazu just loves Grotto. Well, we'll learn how that goes. A second Grotto already. That's weird to me. Maybe there are facts about Grotto I simply do not understand. Listen, that only got me because it's early and I'm off guard. Oh. Oh boy. So Kazu gets a nice enough shuffle. I mean, they had to. Their Grotto missed, but they did get the sculptor. JNails still does not have a sculptor. Oh, wait, no, it must have a sculptor. Never mind. I'm like, JNails set aside 3 coppers some turn. That must be enough. They each have a sculptor. I don't really understand the blacksmith. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading the kingdom, but like, what are you? I don't know what blacksmith does for you at this stage. So Kazumaru using launch here to get a grotto play down. The cut purse is hit, which of course it's going to here. I mean, there's been estate trashing. I for sure like well, I'm saying that with hindsight, but I did like the cut purse better than double charge. I would have certainly gone for church cut purse and not grotto, but whatever. Right, we've got ourselves some gondola action now. JNails buys a cursed village. Kazu will probably get to do what John suggested right now. I don't know if he quite gets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you can get there. You don't play the Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you can even do sculptor for a gondola or whatever. Play the cut purse as part of it. Well, if you want to play your grotto, you do need to be a little bit careful about your order here, right? Now you need to use the gondola as one of the, I believe, if my count is correct, you need to use the gondola. As if you want to play the grotto, you need to use gondola as part of the launch purchase. I mean, you can spend a villager, but there's no reason to. See, this doesn't look correct to me. Because now you have to use a villager to play the... Oh, right, cut purse gives you money. Never mind. Okay, yeah, this is all fine. Though you could have done what I was saying too. It would have been the same thing. Unless you duration the gondola, that's the only thing that would change here. Wonder if you get one more sculptor with a wish and then live your life. I still don't see like a lot of reason to delay greening here. I mean, I would kind of like Kazu to have some churches, but those can be acquired. I still don't really think I like the blacksmiths that much. I'm not fully on board with them. Despite there being some tricks, but that sounds pretty good. I haven't been watching JNails as much. You can't play your grotto, unfortunately. Or have they launched yet? I guess you can launch still. Well, there you go. Maybe you'll draw your wish. Oh. Well, that's okay. It is a villager spend that with some order of draw, I guess you wouldn't have to do, but not a huge deal. There are other ways around the village stuff. I like, what does fleet do for you here? It's not gonna be a 3 pile, so you're just getting some duchies, but you can only get 2. I don't get it. I mean, I understand it can be like getting a duchy that isn't in your deck, but I mean, you can pick up maybe some estates. I don't get it. I certainly wouldn't spend a buy on it right at this point. It's basically like buying green, only less bad for your deck. It's like buying 2 duchies, maybe. Kazu going in with the big wish early. It does, I was going to say, if you get Cursed Village there, it does change, or it does take down the number of, like, but I guess he's going to do draw to X with Blacksmith. I was going to say, if you take Cursed Village there, you're not going to get hit with too many harmful things. But you can do it this way, too. Didn't find a grotto. This is somewhat the problem with the no church style deck here, right? Is you can't recover, or you can't, I don't know. You still have to draw through I'd province, but I just don't know what you're building to. Like, the best you're doing here is province duchy every turn. You might as well start taking provinces. He has so much money at this point. Now this hand kind of sucks, but this hand was always going to suck. You still have province, right? Because one of the gondolas was durationed. So it doesn't even actually suck that bad. I do like JNails'. So I guess for Kazu, though, Kazu will just double gondola and basically net a couple villagers and still play all the actions. And then by province, grottoing the copper. I mean, they could go for blacksmith as well. Maybe they'll do that. Probably Kazu will do that, to be honest. give themselves a chance at a better grotto and a better, I don't know. At that point, a leprechaun activation will be a little unlikely, but still possible, I think. I don't know. Greed's not too bad. Really, the ones that could hurt here are like nothing's too bad. Plague would have been fine for JNails. Yeah, I'm thinking Misery is maybe the worst. I mean, depending on your turn, Envious could be really bad, actually. Even with the gondolas, there's points where Envious could suck. But I do think Misery is probably the worst. Just because of the small number of VP gains we can do here. Obviously, certain like there are nightmare locusts that are possible as well. But it's pretty unlikely. They're not even really possible at this point. You can pretty much afford to lose whatever now. Wonder if JNails is going to get another grotto here. I don't super love the Miller. I would have probably just got a grotto and set aside 4 coppers. That seemed nicer to me, but I mean, this is okay-ish. It just looked way better to grotto more and just get the gondola. Okay, so Kazu's gonna hunt with Miller, I guess. I mean, JNails did take away the option to do blacksmith stuff, so that would have probably been better, but if you can't do it, you can't do it. This is I don't know that it'll matter, but this is the kind of punishment you deserve for not trashing. And Kazu didn't have to, even if you decide I don't want to trash at the start, Kazu has had, you know, plenty of time now between the sculptors to do a little bit of it along the way. You just kind of launch to try and find a wish or something. You risk just not buying province if you do that. The Miller gain also took away grottoing 1 copper. Now you're just stuck grottoing nothing if you want a province. I actually think you can't risk it. I think you have to take the province. I don't think like buying fleet is sufficient. Does Kazumaru know about the button that lets you click on a place in the lock? I mean, I've been there. I've done it too. And I'll do it again, but it is always funny. Okay, so Kazu doesn't see here, look. This is church skip punishment. You have to play the cut person launch and just hope you hit the... JNails should be screen peeking and should gain a cut purse mid-turn and take away even the launch option. I'm actually really happy to see these hands for Kazu because I would be so sad if just opening a couple grottos was like good enough to have consistency. I'd be so mad. So this is restoring my faith in pretty much everything. Now watch, he's gonna launch and draw the single blacksmith, but no, I mean Kazu. I'm looking at Kazu's hand. I'm just laughing that Kazu has 3 estates copper cut purse. Okay. What do you do here? I like the wish save actually. I think that's totally fine. Because you're going to need probably some duchies. Now would have been a little nicer if you could have churched it rather than grottoed it probably, but that's okay. The provinces aren't so low that we provinces aren't so low that JNails like absolutely needs to. Yes. I'm so happy. All right, so this helps JNails of course quite a lot. This would be a really hard turn to get that LEP activation. I mean, you could do it with your sculptors, I guess, but I mean, I guess you could play with a second leprechaun, and that might be worth it here. Can always gondola or church the other one, and then you're in a situation. I mean, if the wishes are your only extra gains and gaining a wish is that valuable, then it could make sense. I think there's a sequence here where you can get the... Yeah, like if you sculptor for a gondola, then sculptor for a leprechaun, then you can play the LEP. And then you can do launch stuff and or church stuff and then play the Curse Village. I think that leaves you with an action. Maybe it doesn't. I think it leaves you with 1 villager still. If you're Kazu. No, you probably launch first and then wish for a Cursed Village. Okay, well, JNails didn't do the... JNails did not go for the second leprechaun. Okay, they did. They're going to launch to get out of here. Yeah, you can do it that way too. My way was more fun because it used gondola. At some point, you kind of need to play the wishes for duchies just so that you have done it. This is sort of weird. I would have... I don't think the order here is correct. I don't know what's on the bottom, but I don't think the order here is right. If you're going to gain a grotto with one of the wishes, which I think was right at that point, you shouldn't have played the blacksmith. I guess you're just hoping the blacksmith draws the grotto and then you don't have to do that. That's fair. I guess you can either wish for a cursed village or you can wish for a gondola. Are kind of your options here. I mean, you can just play the blacksmith first, but... JNails should be able to win here. I think the positioning with the fleet is just strong enough now at this stage, since Kazu had the province miss. Not just a province miss, right? It's a wish miss and all that. The envious here could be quite painful. I guess it doesn't start. Oh yeah. So anyway, how long does it last? The whole turn. Okay. You weren't getting to... I mean, you might have gotten there after the blacksmith play. You might as well just grotto those things, like 3 things, and then blacksmith for 6. You've got more. Well, you also have a bunch of coppers in the States. Anyway, I do like this order. 1, 2. Yeah, so you're going to blacksmith and then play the leprechaun. You can just play it this way. Yeah, the fleet buy for Kazu is not going to do enough. Yeah. You can, if you miss the province by there, you're just... It's just so easy for JNails to get province. He just has a way better draw to X control. And he doesn't have to draw 3 coppers. Like his stop stuff is gold, right? And the stop stuff is helpful because he can launch off in and actually still have more money. I'm surprised at take gold there. I mean, it feels like you can maybe do a little better than that, but it's fine. I'm so happy this game played out this way. Nothing personal, except for being the person who opened Grotto in turns 1 and 3. JNails could have here literally just set aside enough to buy province next turn and just stopped clicking. Like just bought province and just bought province again, and it would win 100% of the time without doing any sort of thinking. Not that that's what you should do, but you could do it here and it would work. This is a neat kingdom. Limited, but still pretty interesting. There are 3 wishes out there. I believe JNails has 2 of them. I think. Somebody has 2 of them. Oh, look, there they are. Hey, Libby's right. This one's interesting because I think it was Kazu clearly ahead at one point. And then super clearly not ahead. But maybe I was misreading the game state when I thought Kazu was ahead. That's never going to happen. I don't know. I don't have a strong recollection of it. And I've played out some real hopeless ones, I think, against her. You don't even get a wish activation here, so you're not actually even making any ground up. This is I'm dying. Alright. I'm JNails. I just put whatever's in my hand. I just set aside enough for province next turn with church, and I buy province now. Like, don't even play the turn. Just church the wishes and a town crier, and buy province with whatever. You don't have to, though. I mean, you can, but it doesn't matter. I guess that's a question of style at that point. Is getting the wish stylish, or Kazu resign? All right. That was a nice kingdom. There was more stuff than I initially thought going on. Though the basic story is that I think he has resigned against me too, but not often. The basic story of per con being our extra gains was there, but there was some nice plus action stuff that came up at different points anyway. Got a frigate board and labs, so that can be a thing. What's the market towns is the okay. Sort of a toil-esque thing. Better than toil since it's before you buy. Friendlier with smithy stuff. If you had a billion favors. Yeah, the 3/4 is pretty nice. Rope scrap probably. Oh, 3/4. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, right, the thing about that is you're still going to lose that Taskmaster pretty quickly. You're not going to keep buying 5s every turn. So I don't know how much the +1 for an extra turner matters, but I still have really only played one frigate game against a human, I think. And the AI that I play doesn't buy it, so I can see its brutality, but I don't really feel it yet in my soul. Oh, that's cute. Did top deck a scrap here? That's true. You can just play a... Oh, top deck a siren. Even nicer. I don't know why JNails... I don't like armory here all that much. Just... Doesn't the siren know where it is with armory? I don't either. But I think the siren can trash itself from armory. think it has to have some effect, like move it from where it. Whatever I describe it will be not correct, but I'm pretty sure this one still trashes. Like Quartermaster, it still trashes. I mean, you could do it with Bobble. I mean, Kazu. Yeah, it turns out I think the 5-2 was super, super good. Though, like Johns was saying, he could do 3-4. Like, you could do Taskmaster into band, I think would be competitive still. But the 4-3 stuff looks rough. It just. That was cute. I mean, that was a cute use of the favor. Kazu's moving on to bigger and brighter things with his band. Actually, less big and bright, but good still. I guess I played a board against JNails that had Frigate on it, but it was bad. In fact, I did that yesterday. So it's not true. I have played a second Frigate board with humans. But Frigate looked really terrible on that kingdom. Now we're in Taskmaster world. I guess. I don't really understand it exactly. I guess if you have the whole pile, that'd be okay. I guess until I have a frigate, you can go hog wild with building stuff. There's just some point where maybe they shut it down on you. If you're way ahead like Kazu is, maybe you just get the frigate and are locking them out of doing it. That happened to me the other game. Like I would have gotten frigates going, but I just got locked out first pretty hard, and then I wasn't playing my frigate, and then etc. I'm surprised at the order here, since you could have still gotten a rope later if you like. Surely, well, I don't know. Isn't the second bobble, like, pretty bad? Yeah, actually, the third band is pretty confusing. I mean, they are shy, so that's a little nice, but I was 2 Johns. I certainly wouldn't have gotten a second bobble. I kind of hate that. I mean, that only helps you with your payload. You can get around it sort of with payload, but there isn't that much payload here. Action payload. Oh yeah, and it doesn't even really get around it, does it? Oh. JNails is right in there. This was a really pat draw for Kazumaru. Though to be fair, get to shy. You don't have really anything you care to draw that much more. Are there more ropes down here? Maybe there are more ropes down here that were whiffed on. This is another problem with the band, is it doesn't have a cantrip target. I guess the siren's gonna die. I don't know what's down here though, so maybe you just give him the last curse. It's kind of a cool board. I mean, we'll see what happens in the frigate phase. But I think a kingdom is pretty neat. The other stuff, at least. I like the idea of just you're rushing to get 8 task masters and then hope you have 5 and buy in hand and you can do province duchy for the rest of the game. This bobble is really bad. Like, it's just so bad. Joke's on you, JNails. Kazumaru doesn't even have any actions to play. I know, there's more stuff coming down the line. Frigate Part 2. Oh, but JNails doesn't get JNails does not get a siren down this time, so JNails also will be sad somewhat. That was tactical ordering with the hasty effects. Though nothing can save you here. From the frigates frigating. Oh, look at that. We're even getting bigger. We're so big. don't know. Hasty Taskmaster is fun. There's stuff. They're playing with a lot of the cards. I mean, they've already touched 8 of the kingdom. The favor has mattered a little bit, and so Kazu opts to keep the coppers and not play the band. You just tripled Taskmaster. Just be the task. Oh, you can't do triple because then you don't have the thing. You didn't really need to top deck that frigate, right? You're not going to play both of them, are you? Maybe you are. I didn't consider that. Maybe you are playing both of them. I guess there was some chance that you bottom deck the frigate. Isn't the other kind of card a band, or am I miscounting? So you couldn't really bottom deck the frigate. I could be way off. Well, now we start the duchy buys. That'll be depressing. It was, in fact, a band. Look at me, tracking decks. I love this so far. So far, I'm all about it. This rules. Kazu's gonna have this deck that, like, makes a bunch of money from Taskmasters and then plays, like, you know, frigates. It's great. Sign me up. I think I would go ahead and Siren here just to make it more likely that I find my frigate that I'm about to buy. Even though you would maybe normally want to just scrap the copper. I think if you zoom in too much on the frigate here, you're missing that Kazu just had a better deck for a long time, right? Maybe it's not that much better. I don't know. I'm not sure real where the copper trashing sits. Kazu's got to be doing a little bit better on the curses. JNails found his frigate. But because JNails is just going to play all the actions. But JNails isn't close to the 13, which is kind of the nice number here. Just has so many fewer taskmasters. I'm so much more sympathetic to awful boards when I get to watch other people playing them than if I'm playing them. I love seeing people suffer. Oh, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna do you armory for a task? How much money can you make here? Like, are you gonna do is buy duchies because you can't hit 13 and you don't want to lose your taskmasters, or do you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna lose my taskmasters"? Kazu may easily come to a point where he faces a similarly awkward decision. Okay, so JNails is out of the Taskmaster game. The developers need to still work on some start of turn stuff with Taskmaster so that you don't have to resolve them versus Siren Draw. That one was reported a long time ago. There's just no reason to have to click that button 6 times. JNails. Oops. All berries. Alright. Guess I can write the score down. This my little score thing in my YouTube videos. It's like the stupidest thing. Just I guess I don't know. Maybe some people like it. Another church board. Will Kazu skip again? It's also the only trashing yet again. There is some cycly stuff you could do, but this is a little bit. You can like do more. You can like focus on the draw to X payload, or you can get into the loot stuff. Oh yeah, this is our first loot kingdom. You can get into the loot stuff, but then you kind of need to use like figurine to do the draw, which maybe is out payloading the Galleria stuff. So the Galleria Harbor Village Hunting Lodge stuff looks pretty good too, to me. I think any deck plays with church. So I don't know. The thing about the draw to X thing plays militia more often. Yeah. I keep looking over chat as I'm saying something to find Jaunts. I swear I'm not copying. We're just synced. Figurine's not the only draw. In fact, it's not the best draw at all. It's just the best draw that works with loots. But there's payload that isn't loot that will be just fine. Not could be. It's great draw. It's great. Excellent, excellent draw here. Well, I'm not sure, Iris. I can see it going either way. I'm just a little worried to play against the militia every turn. And the figurine deck is not going to play with militia, or is not going to play a militia every turn. It's not going to play militia most turns. It looks like they're both headed for... Right, but... That's true. Yeah, I mean, I talked about that. I'm really more concerned with it from the perspective of playing a moat draw engine that is getting militiaed. That's what I would be worried about. That's why I wouldn't go for the loot stuff here. You could get a loot or two. Like, you could play a wealthy village, or get a wealthy village and get a loot. Maybe you get a hammer. We're pretty mirrored so far. Except that JNails has hunting lodges and Kazumaru does not. This is a pretty big deal. JNails, if JNails had gotten one card further in his shuffle here, it would have been like super good. But unfortunately, the church was one card lower than where it would have been really nice. No, I think the figurine stuff gets blown up here. I mean, not to mention, it's hard to buy the figurine components while you're being militiaed. Like, the figurine can't use the 4s or the 3s very well. So you're just like stuck buying silvers or astrolabes, which are whatever, which are terrible with militia. You're not going to hit 5 and 6 so often that you get it. It seems... I'm fully on draw to X here. That's a nice activation for... That's just nice for anybody. It's nice that for JNails to have it in hand here, or to have it in this hand here to get the coppers down. I assume this Falconer is a harbor village, yeah. And I'm gonna assume here you get the Galleria now. In fact, you probably just go church set aside harbor village and estate. You might get an extra set aside if you draw some money. Oh no, that's not really gonna... You could find the honey launch and then get more of a set aside, but I would probably stop here and set aside the... Oh no, wait, you don't have 5 yet. Yeah, you gotta play one more. This should be JNails' game at this point. I think you can... Ooh, okay. I was gonna say, I think you could have handled the Galleria at that point. I'm not super into the third Falconer. Not that it's bad. I mean, you're gonna have good targets and 3-pile threat from it the whole way through. But I just think you need the Galleria to really make the money peak up. So that's what I would have gone for, but there's still a little cleaning to do. Yeah, eventually that'll be important. I think at this stage you're more likely to just hit 9 or 8 and just buy 2 things that you would have got the plus buy anyway, but definitely at some point you'll have 10 and then it'll be a big deal. So Kazu does roll the hammer, which is a good loot here. This has got to be just a church gain. Okay, no. Color me surprised. You haven't seen me. Don't even know. This is such a weird order here. I don't know why you wouldn't just church 3 coppers there. I don't know what. I have no idea what you... Now you just don't get a church play this turn? Well, you still have the... But you get a worse church play? This seems weird. I mean, you can church the Honey Lodge, I guess. That's kind of nice. I don't know. I'm not convinced by this order, but whatever. And I'm super unconvinced by this. By the astrolabe here. I mean, I get it, but like... I don't know. I want those coppers out of my deck. But I mean, for sure the Gallery Honey Lodge buy is nice here. More Falconer, okay. Whatever. I don't like it. Not a fan. The wealthy villages for Kazu are super bad. Like they're super bad. IMO. Look, this is what happened. This is what happens. This is... These stupid coppers are in here. So now you're going to gain Astrolabe again. Alright, this time the gallery is coming out for sure. Yeah, they also have 30 harbor villages. I probably wouldn't double it. I think he's worried about, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I got to get my churches balanced. I'm air quoting. But you should just play it there. It'll be fine, but it's just the idea that you like have to have your durations balanced, even if playing one now gives you some nice benefit. That it says that sometimes people talk about balance like it's I mean it can be, but it's not like not something to get hung up on. I do think there's a pile out for JNails here with certain draws. I don't know that they're actually going to get there. But it's certainly possible here. Depends a bit on the order when we see the Galleria. I mean, it's not hard, but you do have to find the Galleria before the Falconers or it just doesn't work at all. It would have been militias, Falconers. I mean, you may be able to pile the churches or the farming village, or the churches would be the next possible target. Actually, the church one just works at this. It's in hand. Yeah, the church pile out is in hand here. So, and I guess probably the Falconer pile out is in hand as well. That was nice. The other thing the loot deck has there is pretty terrible pile control. So you pretty much have to be way ahead on provinces with it. If you leave the opponent a stack of 10 harbor villages plus whatever other things, they're going to beat you on the... You have to get half VP or you're going to lose. Harbor Village Conspirators, nice. Somebody may peek an inheritance here somehow. No way that runs it. I think the answer is the same if you remove Falconer from the board, but sure, certainly Falconer was awesome there. I actually think just the Galleria stuff is enough, though. I just think the loot stuff was actually that bad. Well, you might do Harbor Village. But Conspirator would be okay too. It would depend on where your deck was. Harbor Village is more conservative, so like if you're way ahead or something, just do that. Hard thing is though, is there's some okay trashing here that isn't going to pair super well with inheritance. Are you saying if the estate is a conspirator? No, you don't get money. Shapeshifting inheritance you would have, but modern inheritance, nope. Shapeshifting was so funny. I really kind of miss it. I don't care about the rule stuff. It was just fun to have the estates look like whatever thing. And JNails goes heavy on the trashing. Kazu goes not so heavy. So Kazu's angle is more hid inheritance angle. Oh wow. Kazu gets a turn 4 activation of the Wealthy Village. That's pretty crazy. That's gonna be good. JNails gives out a curse. I don't know how much that matters. If Kazu wants, they can get yet another loot. But they go for the Conjure, which makes sense. Conjure is quite good here. So Kazu has the inheritance now. We'll see what they go for. I'm going to assume Harbor Village, but you could do... I don't think Kazu can afford to trash here. I think there's still estates down in there, so I have to check. But yeah, there's at least one estate, so Kazu's not going to trash here because you need the money. Inheritance is just better, I think, than... then trashing. Yeah. It would have worked out, but it doesn't matter. I think you just take Conjure for sure. Yeah, I love this. And then you inherit the... You get to bury too, which is cute. And then you inherit Harbor Village. So I would have thought about... No, this is probably better. You could also inherit Innkeeper at this point in time, since you just have 2 estates. That's not crazy either, but I think Harbor Village is a little safer. No. No, not Conspirator. Next turn you can't play it. You need the village effects. You can just gain the Conspirators with Conjurers. To me, Harbor Village looks like the clear choice now because you have a Harbor Village, you have an estate down in the bottom, and you just buried a Conjurer, so you really want those village effects. Kazu does need more trashing though. Now, I don't know if that means picking up a remake or just picking up more ropes, but for sure the thinness is not here yet. I mean, you would still just do one of the cantrips here. I mean, do Harbor Village. Even if it worked well. At this point, you wouldn't choose that. They're already getting payoff here. They may just take an estate, so they might take a rope or something. They're going to buy an estate for sure, I would say. See, because you really want to, you really want to bury an estate here since you're going to put 2 of these Conjurers into hand. You're going to put these into hand. Yeah, I'm fine with gain as well. So you could have gained something else. Because you can still buy one here. And you had plus buy, so you could have done it in the fine order. But this is all good. This looks so hard for JNails, I think. Kazu's going for more ropes. Or at least one more rope. I assume this is going to be like specialist, gain an estate or something, gain conspirator. I would add at least one more estate and either a second estate or a conspirator here, in addition to the specialist buy. None of it's too critical. You could conjure, you could not buy a specialist and you could bury your other conjurer. As a possibility too. Because you do have 2 villages down here. I guess you have just so much money for burying anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, the conjurer's already there. Yeah, I think the innkeeper gain's pretty good. You're just so far ahead. Yeah. You're going to have a points lead and a deck quality lead, which in Dominion is the worst thing to be against. When they have a better deck and more points than you. Which I guess is a bit of a tautology, but that's where we are. Okay, so we have... Okay. This is interesting. This one will be interesting. You can certainly dominate here. You can set up some nice consistency with stables. I don't know if you ever get to... You probably don't have to do tunnel stuff ever, even though you could do that to bootstrap your cash a little bit. But I expect it to be more in the sack of loot than in the tunnel, as far as getting your money up. But I would probably open amulet, double amulet or amulet silver. For me, these states are pretty bad. Probably amulet silver, honestly. The 5 getting a stables is really pretty important. Or a lab, either one, or even forum in some situations. I think I'm going amulet silver here, and then you know, just from there, just getting the draw and eventually the money. But I'm not worried about the money. It'll come. There's so many ways to make it. But yeah, sack of loot and King's Cash can get you a lot of money. If you're like winning here, you just will win because you can set the patient, do the patient stables. Though to be fair, you could get the stables dead, I guess. All right, they have quad. We got the quad amulet, and then JNails misses amulet turn 3. As does Kazu. So they both have not a great draw here. Kazu also whiffs on an estate trash even on his amulet collision turn, so that kind of sucks. Okay, so JNails will start on the 5s here. Maybe. I guess you could do another trashing, but the JNails looks ahead right now. Kazu's bought a lot of silvers, which isn't ideal. JNails, probably here you're just another stables. You could... I think it's too early for the sack of loot, to be honest. You still want to do some more trashing. I think it's just early. It's fine, but I wouldn't do it. Though JNails has trashed all the estates, so like you can pick a sack of loot up here. That's fine. You can trash copper by sack of loot. That seems totally good. And you have a good shot of drawing it even. Goes for the mining road first, which I don't like. I mean, if you hit 11, it's pretty nice. But if you don't hit 11, it's kind of whatever. Yeah, I don't love it. It's like just trying to be cute with the sack of loot ordering. And I don't think it's worth it. I can still get behind another stables there. I'm not mad about that. I'm still ready for a sack of loot now. For JNails. I'm not watching Kazu at all. I don't know what Kazu has going on. Prize goat's okay. It's not okay. To be fair, at this stage, it's probably one of the weaker prizes, but there'll still be some. I bet it'll trash at least a couple coppers. Ooh, I don't like the black cat buy. I don't like the black cat buy at all, actually. I don't get it. You still are willing, you're still playing amulets. Your opponent's not buying green anytime soon. So you just, no, I don't. I mean, I guess the idea is that you're going to have patient stables, and so you get a little villaging. But it's just so gross, this shuffle. And it's it maybe is gross for a couple shuffles, so. I guess he's just abandoning the amulets, maybe. I don't know. JNails is way ahead here anyway. It doesn't matter, but I didn't like it at all. Maybe they'll get a staff. That'd be pretty funny. This is bad order, right? You should just keep the you're gonna play the sack of loot, so you should just have the coppers still in hand. There are a few situations where you want to do something with the coppers here. So there's no reason to play them all. There's no reason to play anything but the sack of loot first. You can't, you're going to play the sack of loot, so you can't do King's Cash this turn. You can't do King's Cash ever as long as you play the sack of loot. I mean, you activated for the mining road. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's too much. You start to lose deck control. You're so far ahead, you don't need it. I'm pretty sure you're far enough ahead, you don't need it. I would have liked to see, I assume they're going to do this next turn, which I think it'll be a little better than. What I would like, I still think the order was wrong. If you're going to play it that way, you play a sack of loot before the other things. But whatever. Puzzle box is quite nice here. Kazu duds, so just gets out, which is fine. Alright, that was game 5. So far it's 3-2 in JNails' favor. We've had first player win every game. We'll see how it ends up on this little exhibition if we just have a tie, or if JNails can take one as second player to win it 4-2. We have shy dungeons. We have two. We've had shy twice and hasty twice. We haven't had a lot of variety in our rates. There's livery, sack of loot stuff, which can be a thing. The trashing here is a little bit weak. Crucible's not incredible. You can specialist it, I guess, at certain points. The trashing isn't strong, but there is some nice livery stuff you can do in dungeon. You can probably get the consistency you need to do the big thing. So I would probably open Crucible Dungeon. I don't know if you could get familiar, and it's very possible that if you get the shuffles for it, that you just give them 10 curses pretty quick and they're sad. And it's not like an unreasonable training target also. So it's a little hard to hit the training if you go that direction, depending on your draws. You can give the curses pretty quick here. I would still get a Crucible, I think, in the opening, and then if I'm thinking about familiar, be looking more at the next reshuffle for a potion. Somebody might be thinking about a Weaver, but I think it's pretty bad here. I say that. It's okay. A Weaver in the opening would be okay. But I wouldn't go heavy on them. And I still don't really love it. But it wouldn't surprise me to see somebody take it here. Kazu just goes straight for the potion. Potion dungeon is actually kind of a scary opening. JNails goes for the Crucible, which I like. I guess it's not that scary. I guess you're pretty likely to be able to get, as long as you see one estate somewhere, it's okay. Or somewhere else, I mean. So we've got a familiar buy already. Kazu's got the Weaver now. JNails plays the dungeon, gets to do the trash, and probably buys a potion. It's a little hard. It's going to be hard to play with 10 curses here. Like, that's not going to work. And I don't think you keep up on the trashing with just Crucible, but you also have to hit 5 sometime. Well, that's nice. This presumably will be a livery. The Weaver play is probably Crucible and like buy dungeon. Or vice versa, whatever. Okay, just goes double dungeon. That's more than I would have taken a Crucible as Kazu for sure there, but whatever. Kazu misses. The sand is pretty much just a wash. This would be specialist. Oh, wow. And JNails draws specialist livery right off the bat, which is huge. So probably doesn't double. Probably plays one and then gains. And then like buys. I don't know what you buy, but you get 2 horses either way. So the question is whether you want a second livery, and I think you do. So might as well take it. You're gonna go for a sack of loot now. It's a little. JNails may just never have deck control, which might also be fine. Wait. Did Kazu not shy one of those? I'm so confused. Was it like a misclick? I don't know what the interface looks like for shy. That's really weird. You would not play both the dungeons normal there. You would shy one of them 100% of the time. So that looks like a misplay to me. JNails still gonna be living this first up lifestyle. You know, it'll be more like 7 curses by the time it's done, to be fair. And a point in his favor, the estates are already gone. I actually kind of think it's doable. I wouldn't, yeah, just do that. That looks nice. This chalice, some say the chalice never ends. I don't know that I like the Weaver much there, but whatever. I might have just bought a second Crucible as JNails, or just a, well, Dungeon didn't give you horses. You had to buy 4, but another question we might ask besides what is JNails going to play with, how is JNails going to play with 10 curses, is how is Kazu going to play with absolutely nothing good in his deck? Because that's the current state of things. I mean, for sure JNails is going to win this game. And it's not going to be close. Also, I think they just didn't actually have the dungeons in hand there. I think the thing is that you don't have to combine them, right? JNails just has the deck. Depending on what we see from the loots, JNails might not even have any curses. Well, the game's going to end before the curses are even all given out, maybe. Well, yeah. I mean, it would be, but like, what, like, look at this. It's not. JNails, for all I know, JNails has a pile out in hand. There we go. And it never got bought. This Ultra is sad. All right, well, congrats to JNails on winning the exhibition match with a beautiful liveried loot specialist deck here at the finish. Nice use of the Weaver reaction to get us across the finish line here. Really nice deck and nicely played. Eat your heart out, familiar. Can't do anything. Right. All in all, I thought those were excellent kingdoms. We saw some cool decks from our players. Congratulations again to Kazumaru on winning this season's league. And congrats to JNails on second place. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next season.